So, I mean, you've got to this point in your career, you like basically did it all yourself. You started your own podcast. You're now doing brand deals. You're now doing hosting. You're making big connections in the industry. Then Lockedin comes about.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to say yes to that?
Do you know what? And I'm sure you guys can agree. You go through the first year of doing what you're doing and you're like, yeah, brand deals, oh my God, buy this drink, oh my God, buy this t-shirt, oh my God, do this. And then you get to the second year, you're like, fam, how many times am I going to say 10% off using the code Joyce? I'm tired. But how many times?
Yeah.
Like, I started getting so bored of what I was doing, and God is good, I'm so happy. But I wanted to do something that was different to the usual, come and buy this biscuit, come and buy this cupcake, come and buy, or do you know what, we have then we have shoot days where you just, you know, you perform and you fuck off. But I wanted something different. So, and I think after the live show, which was self-produced, I was like, fam, I love this adrenaline rush of doing something different. So when the Locked-in conversation came in, I was like, being locked in a house, 2 weeks, no phone. This sounds chaotic, but it's a bit of me.
Had you watched the previous seasons beforehand?
I actually watched half of the previous seasons. I had interviewed a couple of the girls from the last season because everybody was talking about it. So I knew about the show, and it's so funny because I archived the podcast episodes because I was saying I would never do anything like that. I literally say I would never ever do a show like this. Hell no. So I had to just delete it because it's like, girl, like, oops. That wasn't me. But yeah, that's why I decided to do it. I just wanted something different, something fun, something exciting.
Oh, that's so exciting. And what did you think it was going to be like going in versus what was it actually like for you?
Do you know what? I would like to think of myself emotionally strong. I guess it's because I've suffered in life. So I thought, do you know what? 2 weeks, no phone, easy peasy. It's only 2 weeks, 14 days when you really think about it, it's not a lot. I like new people. I'm quite comfortable around meeting new people and getting to know people. So I really thought it was going to be easy breezy, but for what it was, bumper clots.
Was it difficult? Did you find it difficult?
It was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do.
Really?
What do you think was the biggest shock? Was it like not the lack of phone or anything? Is it just being in a house with people for, how long was it? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, almost over 300 hours when we calculated it together.
Jeez.
I think the most difficult part of it was obviously not having your phone, but I think it's what the phone represents. Like, everyone's like, oh, your phone, but your phone is your connection to the people that you love the most. Your comfort blankets, the people that you call to when you have your rant, when you have your moments where you're down, when you just want to fill time because it's boring.
And when you just want to turn off.
And when you just want to turn off from the
And
world.
when you want to turn on.
And when you want to turn on, because girl, I had no action in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. But yeah, so not being able to have that, and then again, not being able to use technology to switch off or zone out, you're actually left with what you presently have at that time.
Jeez.
Which was very, very hard.
God. And did you and other people break down? Because I bumped into George at Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, I cried like 3 times, like burst into tears, had full mental breakdowns. He was like, everyone was losing it. But like they only showed like little snippets, or like maybe like George crying in response to something that happened, but he'd been like in the diary room thing, like crying for like an hour or something. So what was your experience?
Honestly, me and Ash, I'm going to speak for me, but I cried every other day.
Really?
Obviously, I made it to the final, but the last 4 days, I cried almost every day.
Really?
It was hard. And it's so funny. Me, when you see Ash, she'll tell you, but we were like that's my soul sister. Like, I'm so in love with her. And
She's
when
amazing.
she was down, I'd pick her up. Like, we'd go to the toilet and she'd cry. And then I'd be like, girl, you've got this. Motivation. That's what we used to do. Motivation. Then she'd come out. She'd be fine. She'd be like, oh my God, guys, yeah. And then I'd start crying. And then she'd be the one to pick me up. So we had this yo-yo relationship of when somebody's down, the other person has to pull them up. When that person's down, the other person has to pull them up. And it was literally so hard. I remember I was having panic attacks in the night.
Really?
Like every other night I'd have panic attacks.
Where do you think that came from?
I think it was a couple of things. I think obviously we are not seeing what you guys are seeing. So I think everybody had the fear of how they would be perceived on the outside world. We know how reality TV works. And even if you think you're doing amazing and the best, how people interpret that is definitely different. And then also I really struggled with a bit of guilt as well, because you've got 40 cameras in the house. Every corner of your being is being filmed. And I used to have, and then your mics, from when you wake up, them mics are on.
Really?
From when you wake up, with still the crust of your eye, those mics are on. Jeez. And I felt guilty because it's like, I want to go home, but I feel guilty because I feel like I look like I'm not grateful for being here.
Because all these people, like, there's like so many production people, there's like so many people that have put all the budget into this and everything,
and they're like, we believe in Joyce, we think Joyce is great, we think she's amazing, we think she's talented, and I'm so grateful for them. But having to go through those moments where I'm hearing myself say, guys, I don't want to be here, guys, this is hard, I would sit down in the night and be like, you sound so ungrateful. Why are you feeling like this? You should be happy to feel like this. People will be dying for your opportunity. Do you know how many people tried to get on this show this year and they picked you 10? Like, so those were going through my mind. So then I was feeling guilty for how I was feeling. So I don't think I could ever really process my emotions through the whole thing, because I don't feel like I ever allowed myself to, because I was feeling bad for how I was feeling, but then I was feeling it, but then I was, it was just a horrible cycle.
That is a lot. And I guess, like you said, when you don't have an opportunity to switch off from it, you're just going to be constantly overthinking every interaction, and knowing not only that like you're living it, but that it's going to be shown to hundreds of thousands of people every day. I don't think I could ever do anything like that. Do you think you could?
I don't think, no, I hate even being on, well, I love being on other people's channels, but I hate knowing that
somebody else is in control.
Yeah, they're in control of the edit, and that they can sort of sort through
change
it.
The narrative.
Oh my God.
Did they brief you in any way before you went in? Like, what was the sort of lead up to it like?
So before we came in, we all had a brief. No, but when we all come into the house, we all had a brief by one of the producers, and they basically sat us down. I remember we're in the bedroom, and they were like, right, so we're gonna be filming 24 hours a day, lunch. Obviously we don't know the times, and so it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring in lunch, but you have to cook your own dinner. That's what they said to us at the beginning. Later down the lines, we had to win dinner and stuff like that. But they also said that if you want to have sex, like if you guys are feeling frisky or whatever in the single beds, that they gave us condoms, and they said there's condoms in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
And before you get frisky, the two partners have to put their thumbs up to say they've consented to the friskiness.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking around, and I'm like,
mood killer.
I'm looking around and I'm looking at all the boys, and I'm like, which one
you're going,
I'm thinking about which one of you lot are gonna, like, all the boys were taken, right?
So are they all in relationships?
All the boys were in relationships at the time, and all the girls are single.